Good morning. Today we are looking at sort, and the first example we have is root 3 minus 5 root 2 into the first bracket. You have root 3 plus root 2 into the second bracket, all equal to p plus q root 6, and you are asked to find q. So what do? You have solution. You're going to expand the two brackets. You have root 3 minus 5 root 2. You have root 3 plus root 2 all equal to p plus q root 6. Now you're going to expand the bracket. You have root 3 times root 3, which gives you root 9. Root 3 times plus root 2 is positive root 2. Root 3 times positive root 2 gives you plus root 6, because 3 times 2 is 6. Now you're done with root 3. You're going to have minus 5 root 2 times root 3, which gives you minus 5. 2 times 3 is what? Root 6. You're done with that. Then you have minus times plus is what? Minus. 5 root 2 times root 2 gives you 5 root 4, all equals to p plus q root 6. So you have root 9 is what? Is 3 plus root 6 minus 5 root 6 minus 5. Square root of 4 is what? Is 2. So you have into 2, all equal to p plus q root 6. Now, you notice that this is 1 root 6, because root 6 is essentially saying 1 root 6. So you have positive root 6 minus 5 root 6. So they are the same because they are having the same root. So we are going to group them together, then we work on the other ones outside. We have 3 minus 5 times 2 is what? Is 10. So you have 3 times 3 minus 10. Then you have root 6 minus 5 root 6, all equals to p plus 9 root 6. Now 3 minus 10 is what? Is minus 7. Then you have root 6 minus 5 root 6. It's just like saying 1 root 6 minus 5 root 6, which will give you minus 4 root 6 equals to p plus q root 6. Now, plus times minus is minus, so you have minus 7 minus 4 root 6 is equals to p plus q root 6. Now, let me bring it up to this other way. So you have, from here, you're having equal to minus 7 minus 4 root 6 is equals to p plus q root 6. And here we are asked to find what q is. So it means that we are going to be comparing. It means that p is equals to minus 7, q root 6 is equals to minus 4 root 6. So just as what is here and here is equal, it means that q is equals to minus 4. That's our answer. It said root 3 over root 3 minus 1 plus root 3 all over root 3 plus 1. So we are going to solve it. This is a fraction. So you have, first you're going to find the LCM of the two denominator. How do you find it? You multiply this and this. So you have root 3 minus 1, and you also have root 3 plus 1. So how do we going to resolve this? You use the denominator to divide by this and multiply by this. So you have this divide this. You have root 3 plus 1 multiplied by root 3. So you have root 3 plus, you use the denominator to divide by this. You have this. You have root 3 minus 1 multiplied by root 3. Now another way to do this is by multiplying this by this. You have this, then you use this to multiply this. You have this. Use this to multiply this. You have this. This is also another easiest way to do it. Okay, so you have root 3 times root 3 gives you root 9. Root 3 times plus 1 gives you plus root 3, plus root 3 times root 3 gives you root 9. Then you have root 3 times minus 1 gives you minus root 3. Now we're going to expand this. You have root 3 times root 3 gives you root 9. Root 3 times positive 1 gives you plus root 3. Minus 1 times root 3 gives you minus root 3. Then minus 1 times plus 1 gives you minus 1. Now, this is easier. Root 3 here minus root 3 here cancels. So you have square root of 9 is what? Is 3. Plus square root of 9 is what? It's another 3. Into, now you have root 3 minus root 3. So this one also goes. So you have what is remaining here is square root of 9 is what? Is 3 minus 1, which gives you 3 plus 3 is 6, all into 3 minus 1 is what? Is 2. That gives you 6 divided by 2 is what? Is 3. This is our answer. Thank you. Look at it. Said simplify root 3 plus root 48 all divided by root 6. Now, if you have something like this, you're going to multiply both the numerator and the denominator by what you have as the denominator. What I mean is this. If I'm having root A plus root B all divided by root C, what I will do with this is it equals to root A plus root B over root C multiplied by root C over root C. Now this is what I'm going to use to solve this. So using that, you have root 3 plus root 48 all into root 6. So I multiply all by root 6. That's what you call rationalization. Okay, so this gives you root 6 times root 6 gives you root 36. Okay, so root 3 times root 6 gives you root 18 plus 48 times 6. 48 times 6, you have 48 times 6. 4 times 6 times 8 is 48. It's 48, you have 8 and carry 4. 6 times 4 is 24 plus 4, you have 28. So you have square root of 288. Okay, so we can actually break this down. Now you have, inside here you have square root of 18. You can break this down to becoming root 9 times root 2. Then we can also break that 288 by saying root 144 times root 2 all divided by square root of 36 is 6. Now square root of 9 is 3 times root 2 is what? Root 2 plus square root of 144 is 12 root 2 all divided by 6. Now let me bring that up here. You have equal to 3 root 2 plus 12 root 2 all divided by 6. Now they are the same because they have the same roots attached to each other. So that gives us 3 plus 12 all root 2. You have over 6. You have 3 plus 12 is what? Is 15 over 6 root 2. So you have 3 here 5 times root 2 over 3 into this is what? Is 2 times. That's your answer. I think it's clear. You can see it. The steps are quite progressive and they are easier to solve. 2 minus root 8 over 8 is equals to m root 2. Find m. Now we are going to use this solution. You have, if I have a over b minus c over d, how do I get it? You just multiply. First of all, you do b times d gives you bd, which becomes the LCM. Then you have a times d becomes ad minus b times c, which gives you bc. So that is what you're going to use there. So if I have this 5 over root 2 minus root 8 over 8. So the first thing I'm going to do is to get my LCM. Root 2 times 8 is what? 8 root 2. 5 times 8 is what? 40 minus root 2 times root 8 gives you root 16. Now if you look at it very well, you discover that they all have common factors. So we can actually reduce the question before we start solving. So you have, I can break this into two. You have 40 over 8 root 2 minus root 16 over 8 root 2. Now 40 here is 5 times, 8 here is 1 time. So I've reduced that to be 5 over root 2 minus, now I can possibly break what I have with 16 to be 4 times 4, which the square root of 16 is what? Is 4. So over 8 root 2. Now 4 here is 1 time, 8 here is 2. So you have, this is now reduced to 5 over root 2 minus 1 over 2 root 2. So I can bring that to this other side by saying I have 5 over root 2 minus 1 over 2 root 2. Now, applying what we've done before. What is the LCM now? It becomes this times the, let me just bring it, 2 root 2 root 2. So you have this is half 10 root 2 minus this is root 2. 9 root 2 over this times this gives you 2 times 2, which is 9 over 4 root 2. Now, remember we've gotten this, and they say we should compare it with this. So it means 9 over 4 root 2 is equals to m root 2. So that means m is equal to 9 over 4. Something to look at, you have simplify 1 plus 2 root 3 all squared minus 1 minus 2 root 3 all squared. Now, in expansion, if I have a plus b all squared, it will give me a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. also have, you have a minus b squared is equals to a squared minus 2ab plus b squared. So you're going to apply that. So that means 1 plus 2 root 3 all squared is equals to 1 square plus 2 into 2 root 3 times 1 plus 2 root 3 all squared, which will give me 1 square is 1, 2 times 2 is 4 root 3. Then you have 2 square is 4, root 3 square gives you, root 3 square gives you 9, and the square root of 9 is 3, so it will be 4 times 3, which all this will now give you 1 plus 4 times 3 is 12, so you have 12, then plus 4 plus 4 root 3, which will give you 1 plus 12 is 13 plus 4 root 3. That is the summary of this. So you doing for the second one, you have 1 minus 2 root 3 all squared. Following this, you have 1 square minus 2 all into 2 root 3 times 1 plus 2 root 3 all squared. That will give 1 square is 1 minus 2 times 2 is 4, then root 3 plus plus what do you have? You have 2 square is 4, root 3 square is 3, so you have times 3. So that will give you 1 plus 12 minus 4 root 3. So this will give you 13 minus 4 root 3. Now bringing the two equations together, you have 13 plus 4 root 3 minus, what do you have into 13 minus 4 root 3. Now you are going to open the bracket. You have 13 plus 4 root 3 minus times 13 is minus 13. Minus times this gives you plus 4 root 3. Now 13 minus 13 is gone. So what you're having is 4 root 3 plus 4 root 3. That gives you 4 plus 4 or root 3. Give you 8 root 3. I think the step is easier. I just need to borrow this idea so that it will be easier for us to really solve. I guess it's clever to you. Thank you. I have a question to look at. We have simplify square root of 128 over square root of 32 minus square root of minus 2 root 2. Okay, so you have solution. 128 can be written as 64 times square root of 2 all into 32 can also be written as square root of 16 times square root of 2 minus 2 root 2. Now, square root of 64 is 8 times root 2 is what? This. Square root of 16 is 4 times root 2 is minus 2 root 2. You have 8 root 2 over 4 root 2 minus 2 root 2 gives you 2 root 2. 8 divided by 2 is 4. Root 2 cancels 2. That's our answer. I guess it's clear and straightforward. 3 minus root 6 in the form of x plus m root y. Okay, so solution, you have 3 into 3 minus 6. You multiply up and down by the inverse of this, that is the positive evaluation of this. You have 3 times 3 plus root 6 over 3 plus root 6. This is what they call rationalization. Okay, so you have 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times this is plus 3 root 6 into 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times root 6 is plus root 3 root 6. You have minus root 6 times 3 gives you minus 3 root 6. So you have minus times plus is minus, then root 6 times root 6 gives you 6. I guess you understand. Look at root 6 times root 6 gives you root 36. Square root of 36 is 6. That's why I got that. Okay, so you have 9 plus 3 root 6 into 3 root 6 minus 3 root 6 is gone. So you have 9 minus 6, which gives you 9 plus 3 root 6. 9 minus 6 is 3. So we can break this into 9 divided by 3 plus 3 over 3 root 6. It is equal to 9 divided by 3. 9 divided by 3 is 3 plus 3 divided by 3 is 1. So this. So x plus m root y is equals to 3 plus root 6, where x is equals to 3, m is equals to 1, and y is equals to 6. That's root 10. We have solution. You multiply up and down by the change of this sign, which is that's what is called rationalization actually. So what it means is that you have 5 plus 3 over 4 minus root 10 times 4 plus root 10 . Okay, so you have root 5 times 4. Root 5 times 4 is 4 root 5. Root 5 times root 10 is root 50, because 5 times 10 is 50. Okay, we still have 3. So plus 3 times 4 is 12. This plus 3 times 4 is 12 plus 3 times root 10 is what? 3 root 10. Now you have 4 times 4 is 16. 4 times root 10 is minus root 10 times 4 is minus 4 root 10. So you have minus times minus is minus times plus is minus. Root 10 times root 10. So root 10 times root 10 gives you root 100, and the square root of 100 is 10. So it gives you 10. Now we have something to deal with. This cancel this. 16 minus 10 is 6. So we're going to work with the numerators. So you have you have 4 root 5. Now root 50 is equals to 25 times root 2. Square root of 25 is 5. So that becomes 5 root 2. So it becomes plus 5 root 2 plus you have 12 plus 3 is 10. Okay, so we are still going to simplify that and make it a smaller number. so it will be easier to deal with. Okay, I guess you're following. Is it making sense? Okay, so we're going to divide this into groups now. You have 4 over 6 root 5 plus 5 over 6 root 2 plus 12 over 6 plus 3 root 10 over 6. 2 here, 2 times, 2 here, 3 times. So this becomes 2 over 3 root 5, sorry, plus 5 over 6 root 2 plus, and this is 2, 3 here, 1 time, 3 is, this is plus 1 over 2 root 10. So you can actually leave your answer like this, or you can better still bring out your whole number out, and you put others into fractions. You have 5 plus 5 over 6 root 2 plus 1 over 2 root 10. That's your answer. Anyhow you want to still represent it is clear. I think that is good enough. Thank you. The question to look at: rationalize 1 divided by root 2 plus 1. So solution, you have 1 into root 2 plus 1. We're going to multiply up and down with the negative of this. You have root 2 minus 1 over root 2 minus 1. I guess by now you should have understood this. 1 times all of this gives you root 2 minus 1. Or into root 2 times root 2 is 2. I guess you understand. Root 2 times root 2. 2 times this gives you. So now root 2 times minus 1 is minus root 2. Plus 1 times root 2 gives you plus root 2. Minus 1 times this gives you minus 1. This cancel this. 2 minus 1 is 1. Express 5 minus 2 root 10 over 3 root 5 plus root 2 in the form of m root 2 plus n root 5. Solution. Okay. So we have 5 minus 2 root 10 all into 3 root 5 plus root 2. Going to multiply up and down by the negative of this. You have 3 root 5 minus root 2, 3 root 5 negative. Now 5 times 3 root 5 is 15 root 5. 5 times minus root 2 is minus 5 root 2. So we still have here minus 2 root 10 times this gives you minus 6, because 2 times 3 is 6. Then root 10 times 5 root 5 is what? Root 50. So you also have minus times minus is plus. So you have 2 root 10, and this gives you 2 root 20. Okay, so you have 3 times 3 is 9. Root 5 times root 5, I guess you should understand by now that it should be 5, because root 5 times root 5 is equal to root 25. Square root of 25 is 5, so that's why. So you have root 3 root 5 times this gives you minus 3 root 10 plus root 2 times this gives you 3 root 10. Yeah, plus times minus is minus. Root 2 times root 2. Using what we've always known, it will give you 2. This cancel this because you have minus and positive and they're the same. Okay, so you have 9 times 45. 9 times 5 is 45, so 45 minus 2 is 43. So what do you have up here? You have root 5, you have root 2 here, you have, I guess you should know, root 50 is equals to root 25 times root 2. Square root of 25 is 5 root 2. So this becomes 5 root 2, and 6 times 5 will be 30. So you have 15 root 5 minus 5 root 2. Then remembering what we got here, so it becomes 6 into 5 root 2 plus, now let's check for 20. Root 20 is equals to root 4 times root 5, or 4 times 5. Square root of 4 is 2 times this is, it becomes 2 outside into 2 root 5. Now this is 15 root 5 minus 5 root 2. 6 times 5 is 30 root 2 plus 2 times this is 4 root 5, all into 43. Okay, so I think I can collect like terms together. So you have root 5 here, root 5 here, so that becomes okay. So you have equal to 15 plus 4 is 19 root 5. You have minus 5 plus 30. That indirectly saying 30 minus 5 is plus 25 root 2 all over 43. So I think that is clear enough. So you say we should arrange it in this order, where you have m root 2 plus n root 5. So you're going to adjust bringing root 2 first. So this is something I'm saying 25 root 2 plus 19 root 5 all into 43. So bringing out the format, you have m root 2 plus n root 5 is equals to 25 over 43 root 2 plus 19 over 43 root 5. So that means m is equals to 25 over 43. N is equals to 19 over 43. That's the beginning of our class till now. This is an assignment for you. So just go and try your fingers. As I've always been telling my students, there's room for failure, and as well as there's room for correction. So feel free to try your fingers and be sure that you understood the whole lesson. And if there's anywhere you're finding it very difficult, you can always reach out to me. I'm always available to attend to you. So you can see it's just one question I gave to you. So don't go and tell anybody that I gave you too many questions. Just one question, question one. But this is what you have to do for question one. I didn't do anything much, just question one.